Chihiro Furuya is a zombie-loving otaku who fantasizes about zombie romance. He lives in Shuriaji Temple with his grandfather Jagoro, his father Dune, the chief priest, his sister Miro and Babu, the family cat who they adopted after straying into the temple. His mother died when he was very young, and so he doesn't feel lonely without her. But one day, an old neighbor of his accidentally ran over Babu. He becomes depressed when his pet cat Babu dies, wanting to see him alive again. But he comes up with an idea. Chihiro looks into an old manuscript describing resurrection. He digs Babu from his grave and goes to an abandoned building and starts doing experiments. While there, he encounters a girl named Ria Sanka, who is depressed about how controlled her life is. She screams down the well, cursing that she's born into the Sanka family as she wants to be a normal schoolgirl, and she wants her father to stop taking revealing photos of her. This causes Chihiro to drop the bottle of juice he's holding, and Ria notices him. When Ria learns that Chihiro had been eavesdropping on her secret rants, she decides to help him in his experiments. After a while, the topic of relationships comes up, and Chihiro is quick to declare his desire for a zombie girlfriend. And Ria got an idea that if she were to become a zombie, Chihiro would take responsibility and look after her. After 5 days of trying different poisonous herbs, there are still no results. Ria then thinks of something and leaves. Chihiro goes to look and finds her climbing a cliff. He rushes over just in time to catch her when she slips. She later says that if she had died, she'd want him to bring her back to life. She recalls how she had always been restricted by her father Danakairo, who showed obsessive levels of love for her and kept her from making any friends. On the next day, she finds a hydrangea plant to use in the formula, taking a small sample of it herself before feeding it to Babu, though he doesn't appear to come back to life, prompting Chihiro to give up his experiments. As they part ways, Chihiro and his thick cousin, Ranko Seiyuji, she questions where he's been, and she gets suspicious over his activities. She manages to open the box and discover that Babu has indeed come to life, while Ria, unfortunately, is grounded even from going to school. In despair, she takes out the bottle and decides to drink the formula she stole in the hopes of killing herself. As Ria awakens to find her suicide attempt has failed, she overhears father plotting to castrate Chihiro. As Ria sneaks out in order to warn Chihiro and thick Ranko chases Babu walking throughout the city. Then Babu went into the tunnel, and Chihiro went after him. Ranko tried to follow him, but she eventually got stuck in the middle of a tunnel. Chihiro follows Babu to a hydrangea field, where he spots Ria at the top of a cliff. As Danakairo approaches her, Ria decides to stand against him before Babu climbs up there as well. As Danakairo prepares to attack Babu, Ria takes the attack and is knocked off the cliff, tearing her stomach on a tree branch and dying as a result. Stupid father, however. Because of the potion she drank, she comes back to life as a zombie. Chihiro takes Ria back to his room and fixing her stomach ripped out, that trying to keep her a secret from the others. As Chihiro goes out to apologize to Ranko, Ria decided to take a shower and encounter with Chihiro's grandfather Jagoro. When Chihiro returns later that day, he finds Ria has become dazed and is showing signs of rigor mortis, bringing him to the realization that her corpse will rot. Chihiro decides he has to find a way to stop it and protect her. As Chihiro tries to think of a way to preserve Ria's body, in the morning, he hides her in his closet while he cleans the temple, where he hears from his grandfather that he was the one who originally made the resurrection potion. Ranko comes to visit Chihiro and heads to his room for zombie DVDs. She is suddenly attacked by Ria. Chihiro heard the scream from Ranko. He quickly ran to his room. As Chihiro pulls Ria off of her, then immediately jump on him. She embraces and kissing him. After that, as Chihiro tries to explain things to Ranko, Ria follows Babu to a field of hydrangea leaves and eats some, which helps her regain her senses and cure her rigor mortis. Jagoro explains to Chihiro that Ria needs to continue eating hydrangea leaves to avoid becoming a corpse, though mentions it is not a permanent solution. As Chihiro manages to convince his father to let Ria stay at their home, he begins recording his observations of her. Ranko visits to give some clothes for Ria to use. Later that night, Chihiro invited Ria for a walk while as the butler of Ria's father followed them. As Chihiro and Ria take a walk, a speeding car almost hit Chihiro. Ria ends up injuring Chihiro slightly while saving him from a car, and begins curiously licking his wounds. In the next day, as Ranko gets Chihiro to help out with her family's deliveries, she recalls how she helped him when they first meet in a cemetery. and they've become good friends. She came to understand his obsession with zombies, then went to a DVD store to purchase a zombie film. While walking, Ranko decided that she would rather watch anime than zombie. He grabbed the DVD and headed back to the shop, where he encountered a stray dog. Chihiro grabbed a steel pipe and swung to save Ranko. After being saved by Chihiro from a stray dog, Ranko eventually came to fall in love with him. Back in the present, when they parted ways, Ranko grabbed his hand and tried to kiss Chihiro, but she turned back and runs away. She screamed at the top of her lungs, determined to defeat Ria. In the next day, Chihiro continues his observations to her. Ria asks him to take her to the mall in exchange for filming her. Unaware they are being tailed by some of Danakairo's henchmen. As Chihiro goes to get some lunch, Ria is approached by Chihiro's classmate named Yasutaka, who tries to pull the moves on her. The henchmen move in to abduct Ria, but she manages to fight them off with her zombie strength. Chihiro heard the scream from Ria and seen her outside the mall while swinging the bench. However, the henchmen change their plans and abduct Chihiro instead, bringing him towards Danakairo. As Chihiro is strapped to a chair waiting for Danakairo to call for him, he meets Ria's stepmother named Aria. Aria explains how she had joined the Sanka family as a maid in the hope of winning Danakairo's love. After the fencing match, a woman in a wheelchair approached him and returned his gloves. Eventually, Danakairo fell in love with a sickly 15-year-old paraplegic girl. However, everyone in the Sanka family was against it, but he chose to marry her despite everyone's objections. However, she died after giving birth to Ria. Danakairo became so heartbroken, but with Aria's help, he slowly made a full recovery, and they eventually got married. Although Aria was eventually able to marry Danakairo, he was more focused on Ria than her. Aria later learned the truth that Danakairo's feelings for Ria are not because of fatherly love, but because of her resemblance to her mother. As Ria rushes towards the mansion, the maid took Chihiro in a room full of images of Ria and meet Danakairo. He challenged Chihiro in a fencing match to settle which one is better qualified to protect Ria. Meanwhile, Ria arrives at her home looking for Chihiro, but Danakairo's maids capture her and started cosplaying her by maids, using her zombie strength. Ria manages to escape and continues searching for Chihiro. At the fencing venue, Danakairo and Chihiro engage on a duel of fencing. Chihiro trash talks Danakairo about being a nonsense father. Danakairo, furious yet keeping his cool, but he was unable to control his anger. As a result, Chihiro's stomach was pierced, and Ria suddenly arrives. Then Chihiro delivers a headbutt on Danakairo. Danakairo was shocked that Chihiro survived the attack. Chihiro realizes of Ria's licking of his wound. It seems that Chihiro have been infected by Ria. Danakairo, now intensely angry, and attempts to slash Chihiro, but Ria quickly parries Danakairo's attack and reiterates her freedom. Chihiro lectures Danakairo and reasons Ria's freedom, that she just wants to be a normal girl. Impressed on Chihiro's words and promise, Danakairo decides to let Ria stay on Chihiro and warns it's only temporary. After Danakairo left, Chihiro suddenly fell in the ground. Then Danakairo left Japan and heads to America in search for the cure of Ria's ailment. Meanwhile, at the Furuya residence, Chihiro wakes up and sees Ria wearing a nurse costume. Ranko arrives and jumps at Chihiro, who is worried about what happened. She then introduces herself to Ria as Chihiro's older sister and fiancé. Sweet Home Alabama. Ria realizes based on the actions of Ranko towards Chihiro that she loves him, as Chihiro is still trying to find a way to preserve Ria's body. Ria expresses interest in a fireworks festival. They got back to house, as Miro mentions to Chihiro about how Ria wants to go to school. He excused that Ria has a certain health issue. Chihiro realized it cannot be called normal life if she just stays at home. After that, the fireworks show was called off due to rain. Ria asked Chihiro if she could take her to the fireworks festival the next year if she was still around. In the morning, Ranko suggests that they hold a smaller fireworks session at the shrine, as Ranko helps Ria change into a yukata. She confesses she is in love with Chihiro and wants Ria to be her love rival, and they held a small fireworks session at the shrine. After Ria's take belongings to the mansion, they decided to go back to the building where they first met. She suddenly jumps on Chihiro, biting his lip in the process. Thank you for sticking until the end. Subscribe for more videos like this.